We're playing Warhammer chaosbane in 2021. I picked up the Slayer edition, which I'm guessing includes all of the DLC and everything that's come after the initial release. And the initial release was in 2019. So playing it now, I'm a little behind, but I have only been playing the Switch mostly for the past couple of years. So this game to me is still absolutely brand new. It is an action RPG in the vein of what everybody knows is Diablo, in that particular style, in that genre, I should say. So before I even go on about the game at all, I want to make one thing clear about this game that is definitely different than most. It has no merchant to trade with. It does have a person to donate gear and or items that you find to. Now, when you donate your items, you gain reputation. As you gain reputation, you're going to open up some perks. You're going to open up other options as well. And some of those options are as follows. You're going to open up boss hunt, and what the boss hunt does, it's an extra mode that allows you to simply fight the bosses that you have already defeated without going through the missions beforehand. Another one is Tower of Chaos. It's very simple. You see how many floors up the Tower of Chaos you can fight and survive. Well, another one is Relic Hunt. Pretty self-explanatory here. You are hunting for relics, of course. And in the one that threw me off, the option that threw me off the most is called Trade. When I initially began to play the game, I thought, okay, maybe cool. I build up enough of a reputation. The option for trade will open up, and then I'll be able to trade items. This is not the case. So when you open up the option for trade, you're only opening up the option to trade fragments. Okay. Now it works for what it is, but in the beginning it was a little bit confusing. So if you feel that you need the classic style merchant to kind of make this game retain its fun, it may not work for you because all the loot and everything that you find, you're not going to go back and buy, sell, and trade with a merchant. You simply are going to donate it, and that's it. Now, with that being said, you are going to get a lot of gear. Pardon me. You're going to get a lot of gear to the point that you almost never run out of new gear. We're going to mention this again a little bit later. Another nice thing is that while you're building up, say you want to build up a specific set of gear so that you can get bonuses off of that, or if you just want to hold on to certain items, you do get a stash in your main base, so to speak. So you can have that stash there, and then you can hold items there without keeping them in your personal bag while you run around. Now, for me, the gameplay is fun with that feeling of almost non-stop action. This is what I look for when I'm playing an action RPG: is the action, the loot, and how interesting is the loot, right? That's a big thing for me. And some games their loot's not that interesting. This one's not so bad. Now, what I also like about this game is that in between missions, there's not a lot of fluff, meaning that there's not a lot of chit chat. There's not a lot of mess going on to hold you up in between. They kind of get directly to the point. They tell you what you need to know. They tell you where you need to go, and then you simply go there. Now, in addition to the basic gameplay, of course, you can play single player, or you get to play a co-op up to 4 players. Now, for those of you who really enjoy online or multiplayer in general, excuse me, will potentially like this option because you get to run through the game with someone else, and that's cool for those who enjoy it. That's very nice. The thing is that sometimes the loot that you're finding is or does not have the impact you need, right? Say you're trying to complete a set of armor and or items so you can get that bonus you're looking for to fight this particular boss or creature. That's just a scenario I made up. But if that's what you need, there has been items that I've been looking for and just go and go and go and you cannot find them. So the items don't always have the impact that you need. You get a lot of mess in there that you just take back and you kind of donate and build up your reputation with, and that's about it. So that can lose its luster a little bit. And some people also think that the environments are very much like a cut and paste, and one looks just like the other, or one feels like the other. And in some cases, I do have to agree. So the environments don't bother me necessarily, but they should have a level or two somewhere here and there that are at least visually completely different than the rest, so that we, as the player, are not visually bored, and not, it's a little more stimulating. Now I am at the recording of this video. I'm only level 49, so I have not seen it all yet. I don't know what all the game has the offer. Excuse me. One thing that I do notice though is it seems that the color palette for most levels kind of remains similar. Maybe that's part of what it is, why they feel the same. So if you can get around that, of course, that's not a problem. Now, if I have one real true nitpick to this game, if I have to pick something to nitpick out, I would like to have more destructible items within the environment to kind of give the action a little bit more of an impact. Number one, and otherwise, if you have more destructible items in the environment, if I can speak, that gives you, the player, more of an opportunity to find these items that you may be looking for. The loot. And so I want to say, although the game does get repetitive for me, I keep coming back simply because it's a good time. So I may not play for 5 and 6 hours at a time, or even 10, or even 3, but I do play it continuously. And I always come back for it because it is always fun. So, will I finish this game? Yes, most definitely, but not all at once. Because as I said, it is repetitive for me, but fun. So I'm not going to be doing this in one sitting. Now, I have to say this. We'll finish it up. If you like action RPGs, I think this one's worth purchasing, especially if you can get it for a good price. But remember, it has no merchant. If you are obsessed with the buy, sell, and the trade of these particular style of games, it's not going to happen here. But if you decide to play it, I hope you have a good time, because I certainly am.